and welcome to the Island Lamb, and I'm Diane, and this is episode 6. And it is November on Block Island, and that is a completely different vibe. We went into town this morning to go to the post office and the grocery store, and there was not a single ferry in the harbor. It's 68 degrees, so it's pretty mild. There's no wind. It's very gray. The sky is gray, and we do have some fog out on the horizon of the water. The ocean is a steely gray, and it is just the kind of weather that makes you want to go home and sit and knit and have a cup of tea. Now, I did just get back from visiting my uncle in Florida, where it was pretty much 84 degrees every day, and that was lovely, and it was nice to be warm. But I have to say, in November, all I want to do is be snuggled in my wools, have knitting in my hand, a hot cup of tea, and to be able to chat with you about knitting. So, you've seen this before if you've been following me, because I had this on the mannequin in episode 1. This is the number 9 sweater, and it is by My Favorite Things. And the reason I wanted to wear it and talk about it a little bit today is because I had not blocked it when it was on the mannequin, and I said it felt a little woolly. This is an alpaca wool blend, and so I said when I have it blocked and I put it on, I'll let you know. It's very comfortable. It is not itchy at all. It is, it's got that beautiful halo that you get from alpaca. It's, like I said, it's 68 degrees today, but I'm very comfortable in it. I didn't make the neck, you could make the neck longer and turn it down, but I kind of don't mind that. And I did make the sleeves long. I'm tall and I have very long arms, and I don't mind just pushing them up, but they're long enough that if I wanted to roll the cuff, but I really love to see the cuffs of my sweater sticking out of my coat. And I love to be able to pull them up over my hands like this. So I'm very pleased with this pattern. And I think I mentioned to you that I had some baby alpaca grande in black, and I wanted to make this again, and I do plan on doing that. So what do I have on the mannequin? Well, today we are looking at an Isabelle Kramer design, and I do love Isabelle Kramer. If you haven't knit any of her designs yet, give it a try. She was featured on Fruity Knitting, and I will note which episode in the show notes. Classic lines, top down, wonderful shoulder shaping, and German short rows in the back and around the shoulder, so you really have, sometimes when you make top down, and it's not that I don't care for it, because I do, but sometimes you have a lot of room underneath the sleeve, or you have that long, the sleeve is set in a little longer. But as you can see on this design, that shoulder and that sleeve fits like a glove. I will wear this in one of my future episodes. I used the Eco and Hemp yarn by Cascade yarn. As you know, I do like the tried and true yarns of Cascade. This is 80% Peruvian Highland wool and 20% hemp. There are 328 yards on a skein of this, so it's a very affordable way to make this gorgeous sweater. I knit this on a size 6 needle, and I thought about putting the pattern on the sleeve. It wasn't designed that way, but once I got the body done and I started working down the sleeves, I think I just liked having the plain black. And you see this lovely heathery hemp coming through. Just gorgeous. Once again, I did not cast on for the neck. I picked those stitches up afterwards. I built the neck up. I did use I think I used the stretchy bind off on this. Gorgeous for this time of year. Really stunning with either jeans or especially black jeans and boots. So I'm looking forward to showing you another one of her designs in a future episode, and I'm also looking forward to making another Isabelle Kramer design. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my journaling process. I have been journaling, actually I've been keeping diaries or journals since I was a kid. And when it came time to start thinking about journaling for my knitting, I was all over the place and I wasn't very consistent. But a few years back, and I think it was actually in 2010, I joined the Arts and Crafts Guild on Block Island. And the Arts and Crafts has 4 fairs in the summer, the last one Columbus Day weekend. And I really enjoyed knitting for those fairs. I found that it's kind of tricky to because I really want to work in wool, and I want to work in alpaca. Occasionally I work in, bamboo or in cotton, but I really enjoy working in the wools. And I found it was a little tricky, though I did well, but tricky to be selling woolen items on a July or an August day when people have been riding their bikes and they're hot and they're sweaty. So I really, really enjoyed the Columbus Day weekend one. So I'm not doing that now, but I really enjoyed that. So because I was doing that, it led me to think about how I could journal the knits and think about what I used in that project and what the cost was, and so that if I were going to sell it, I would have an understanding of what would be a fair price. So I just wanted to show you, I just picked up the spiral binder. And so for instance, here is an example. So this was a project. It was a gorgeous sweater. I used Knit Picks yarn. I did tape in a little piece of the yarn. I made a note of what the yarn cost, how many skeins I needed, what size needle I used, and that did help me determine a selling price. Here's another example. I happened to sketch this. This was a really fun sweater. It's really just a big square and a couple of rectangles. The yarn I used, a sample of the yarn, and again, the cost of the yarn. Now, I don't usually take into consideration how much time I spent making the product, because I think that I don't know too many people who have, gotten rich selling their hand knits. I do it for the love of knitting. I love to gift my friends and family. And it was fun being a part of this arts and crafts community. I was next to a booth that was all beautiful handmade jewelry. There was another booth next to me, and it was sisters, and they were using recycled plastic baggies or bags, like from Walmart or Target, and all different color plastic bags that they would cut into strips and crochet into these gorgeous purses. And they hand stitched fabric on the handles and ran the handles underneath the bag, but they were all made of recycled bags. So that was really fun. We had, we do have quite a few families out here who raise bees, and so there was another booth that was homemade honey and beeswax candles. So I really loved doing it, but I just didn't enjoy sitting out in the hot sun selling woolen garments in July and August. So that kind of put the kibosh on it for me. But we also have a very busy farmers market here on Block Island in the summer months on Wednesdays and Sundays, and I do love to go down and enjoy all the different vendors. So will I do it again? Will I, do a trunk show? I don't know. We'll see. But right now, I'm just enjoying having no constraints until we start talking about the MCAL. No time constraints, the freedom to knit what I want, when I want, building up my stash, using my scraps for various projects. Now, I did mention in a previous episode a podcaster that I'm really enjoying called The Republic of Me, and that is Ivana, who lives on a small island of Cyprus in the Mediterranean. And in her most recent episode, she refers to these crocheted baskets that she made. In a previous episode, she actually guides us step by step, without interruption, with the process of building these beautiful baskets. And I want to do that. I have a lot of leftover scraps, and I have a need for baskets. I'd like to put all my pretty wooden knitting tools, my new darning sock egg, and my pretty wooden ruler and my wooden needle gauge. I'd love to have those sticking out of a pretty bag on my desk. So another podcaster that I wanted to mention, now she's not a knitting podcaster, but I just started to see some of her episodes because she does a couple of fall October vlogs, is Morgan Long. And if you get a chance, check her out. She did a quick short movie called, I'll definitely get it right in the show notes, but I think it's called The Witchy Hour, but it's a really cute short movie that she produced. And if you look back at some of her previous episodes, she does a great job of recommending particular books. And I'm actually listening to one of the audio books that she recommended. And so I'll also put the name of that book in the show notes. It's a lot of fun. I love listening to a book when I'm knitting. If it's not a complicated pattern, I can put the book on my lap and I can knit with the book in front of me, especially if it's the Kindle because I'm just swiping. But I do love to just have my hands on my knitting and listen to a great story and just get lost in the story. And that's this little cute October kind of witchy book that she recommended that I'm listening to right now. Okay, so spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. I'll give you time if you decide you want to turn it off, but I do want to show you where I'm at. I have finally I'm not finished with Clue 3 yet, but I've finished one half of Clue 3. I'm about to finish the second half. I don't know if I'm going to do the extras, and I think I will, that go up the cable. So here it is. So you knew that this was Clue 1. Clue 2 was these wedges with the twisted rib. And Clue 3, we have picked up stitches. Oh, and Clue 3 is this cable. So we've got kind of an inverted cable here and another cable here. And this is on both sides, as you can see. So Clue 3, we are picking up stitches off of the cable, and we're working this very pretty kind of a twisted rib pattern that is creating a wave. It feels like a wave. And I am enjoying this not only because I enjoy this wave pattern. I have used this pattern before, similar pattern, but I love that my pop yarn is kind of moving at a different pace than the wave is moving. So once I finish this side, and you can see I got it on the needles this morning, I'm going to start working this side. I peeked at Clue 4, and I know now that we're going to be filling in the gap between here and here. And I believe we're going to be picking up some stitches and doing something down here. So I was following Instagram and some of the folks who have completed the project, because all this time that I've been knitting this, I just have not really seen I haven't been able to get a good feeling of what this is going to look like on. But I finally did catch a couple of Instagrammers who they put their spoiler alert up, but they took you all the way through, and have this one particular woman, she has it on, and I said, yes, I see it. She shows 3 different ways of wearing it, and I absolutely see that this is going to be a very wearable piece, because I know some of you who are contemplating whether you wanted to do this, or some of you that aren't sure if you wanted to continue. One of the concerns was, am I really going to wear this? And we've seen some of the other MCALs, but I think this is going to be a very wearable piece because you can wear it with those chevrons in the front. You can turn it so the chevrons are in the back. It's going to be a big piece, so there's going to be a lot of different options. So I am glad that I am still working on it. Once again, I'm not rushing. I am not trying to meet the deadline. I'm just knitting along. And to be honest with you, I haven't knit on anything else. So I want to get back to my Urefe, that black and white Scandinavian design or Icelandic design. I have another project that I want to talk to you about probably in the next episode. You've met my mom now, and years ago, my mom knitted a jean jacket construction. I think we lost it in the fire. Can't find it, could not find the pattern. I have searched for this pattern my whole life, because I think I was probably 16 when she made this jean jacket. So she used a beautiful light blue denim yarn, and she bought what looked like Levi Strauss rivet buttons. She did all the embroidery that you see on a jean jacket in a yellow. So she did all the top stitching by hand. She had an opening in the cuff, and then she had that button. She made the little side pieces with the buttons, and we're pretty sure it had a pocket. Inside the button band, she used yellow grosgrain ribbon that matched the top stitching. It was incredible. It was a fantastic garment. And again, I think we lost it in the fire. We have never been able to find the pattern. But recently, I found a pattern for a jean jacket using a yarn that's made in Brazil. And I don't have that project in front of me. I just wanted to whet your appetite. I'm going to talk about it next week because I'm hoping to get it back on the needles. It's a darker denim than the one my mom made. It does have some top stitching involved. And I think I'm going to get as close as possible to recreating that look. My mom's was on a pretty small gauge. I want to say it was a 4 or 5 needle. And this project is on a 6 or 7 needle. So stay tuned for that. I hope I'll have the pieces to show you next week. And so that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to say hi. I'm glad to be back from Florida, though I had a wonderful time visiting my uncle. Thanks to all of you who are still commenting about my previous episodes, and especially the one with my mom. She's really enjoying hearing from you and seeing the comments. And I am saying that if you decide that you do want to use the alpaca wool blend on this project, you won't be disappointed. Once you wash it, it will be very comfortable. And I'll see you again next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.